everybody. I hope this is working. I'm having a little bit of an issue with my camera, so I'm hoping it'll keep up with me. So today's Thursday Thinks is a little bit different, or a little bit heavy maybe. We'll see. So this one came to me as inspiration at 1 o'clock this morning when I woke up, dreaming still that I had swallowed a needle. And obviously I woke up in a panic and did a quick Google search just in case I did actually swallow a needle, and made sure that it was absolutely fine and I'll be okay. Turns out you are okay. Turns out your stomach can deal with it and it's fine. Not that I suggest you should be swallowing needles, but that's what happened this morning. I went, inspiration. Not to mention the other day when I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning dreaming that there were fish inside my quilt cover and I had to save them, so I started tearing my quilt cover off my quilt and I gave up because I couldn't find them, so I put my quilt back together and didn't find any wet patches, so I just went, the fish should be fine in my quilt cover, so I'll go with it. So for me, those are indicators that I am stressed, that something isn't right in my life and I need to sort it out. Also, you can see that I've got a little bit of a skin issue at the moment, so that's also another indicator that I'm in a bit of a stressful situation, and I know exactly where it is. It's at work and it's something that I am working on. But it made me think about my horses and mental health. So how I am around my horses, how that affects my mental health, and also how I perceive their mental health. So if I start off with how my mental health is affected by having horses in the first place. Now obviously most people think that horse equals something to pet, something to stroke, therefore you've got somebody or something to go up to have a cuddle with and have a great time with, therefore they're better for your mental health. And in some ways, yes, they are. The physical action of going outside, have some fresh air, to talk at something that can't talk back, which is absolutely amazing sometimes, and to just be around something, a creature, an animal, a being that is there in the moment only and not there thinking about what's happened in the past, what's happened in the future, what they've got to do, what they haven't got to do, what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there. It's not there, it's there very much in the moment being, and that can be really, really comforting to be around. But on the other side of things, the mental health of having 5 creatures to deal with, 5 different personalities, especially if you've had a hard day, to then to know you've got to go outside possibly in the pouring rain or freezing cold or snow or whatever, and spend an hour and a half just putting up hay nets and poop picking, and it's all extra things that maybe you're not prepared for or not in a position mentally to do because you're just exhausted. Your brain's broken from doing God knows what all day with work or daily life, whatever it is, and then to have to go out to do something that is against what you're feeling at that time can be really hard to do. So there's pros and cons of having horses. For me, it works really, really well because it makes me go outside, and me going outside is great for my mental health. I'm meant to be outside. I'm that type of person, being outside in the fresh air, doing things and not having any restrictions on time of doing things really, really is a good thing for me. Some people call me a green witch because plants are just my bag, hence Naturally Willow. But yeah, so that's good for me. Whether it's good for everybody's individual, everybody's different, and some people have horses that just want to cuddle, and that is amazing, especially if you've had a hard day, whereas some people have a horse that needs more attention, more work, something more energetic, or something that is in need of doing something that day, which means it's more work for you to do, more, just more, and that extra work can be too much. So again, there's balances of whether you've got that character in your horse, or that is what you need to snap you out of whatever you're feeling, whether that makes you happy, whether it makes you sad. Again, it's a balancing act. That's why I always seem to end up with horses that are closer to my own personality, because I find them easier to deal with when I'm in a downtime, when I am needing to just be quiet. I can go around them and they're just like, yeah, alright, go stand here, you do what you need to. So there's that. The effect of having more than one horse for me is good in a way, because I have different personalities for what I go for different things. If I'm in a great and ecstatic mood and I'm just like, yeah, let's do life, I go to Egypt and I go to Spring because they're more lively, and I'm just like, yeah, let's do stuff, and they're like, cool, let's go. Whereas if I'm feeling in a chilled or calm place, I'll end up talking to the Major and just giving him a cuddle and just be like, hey dude, how you doing? You scratch? Alright then, I'll scratch you there. Or if I'm feeling in a sad mood and needing a bit of mothering, I will go and cuddle Midnight. Midnight is one of those mares that connects into you, especially when, like I've got now. Oh, hi Stefanka. So that can really help me when I'm feeling sad, to go up to Midnight and just be like, girl, I need a cuddle. I need to just make me feel better. And she does. She will stand there for as long as I need her to, and cuddle me for as long as I need her to. So again, it just depends on what you need. Or if you need someone just to, or sometimes where I just need somebody to quietly acknowledge me and just come and invade my space, just be like, I'm here for you whenever you need me. I'll go to Pagan. So different personalities help me depending on what place I'm at in my day, in my life, in my specific mood or my mental health at that time. Whereas sometimes it can be a bit difficult if the wrong personality is in front of me at that time. Say I'm feeling really, really drained. Okay, thanks Savanka. Say I'm feeling really, really drained, then I will find it really, really difficult to have Spring or Egypt in front of me, and I have to talk to them in a specific way, have a specific body language to say that I'm feeling a bit drained, I need you to back off and give me a bit of space. And the minute that they do that, I give them so much love and a scratch and just be like, yeah, thank you so much, that's exactly what I needed, and they understand that. So it comes down to communication again, and the relationship you have with your horse, as to whether having a horse and having several of them has a positive or a negative impact on your mental health at any given moment. Now, I am fully aware that obviously we're still in lockdown in COVID, so some people don't get the chance to go out. Some people may be restricted to going on to a yard where the horses are, in which case you might not have access to your own horse, which I feel for you, and I hope that you get into contact with them again soon, and that you can rebuild a relationship, as I'm sure you had an amazing relationship before COVID and lockdowns and restrictions happened. But this is my side of experiences, so that I hope that you can take something away from it. And for those of you that don't have horses, it gives you a bit of an insight into it, and whether it's something that you're looking into, or whether it's just something that it's just you didn't know, and perhaps I can give you a bit of insight into my life and perhaps why I react to certain ways around things, or to people saying certain things, that sort of thing. So I'm hoping you're gaining something from this. If you are, give me a like, and we'll carry on. So there's also the fact that I've got youngsters and I've got older horses. So the youngsters expect more of me, but then again it's personalities again. Pagan is going through her terrible twos, which means that sometimes she can be like, don't talk to me, don't come near me, because terrible twos for horses are like teenagers. So there's there's that. Whereas other times she's just chill. And then you've got Egypt, who is highly sensitive, and whilst he'll take some things, he won't accept other things. So I always feel as though he's my perfect barometer of how I'm feeling. If I walk in and he's like, don't come near me, I know that I am in a crappy mood and I need to sort myself out before I even think about taking another step onto that yard. Or if he's in my face and like, yeah, he's just like, Eki deki, now we need some boundaries, love. Or if he just comes up to me, stands a foot away and goes, hi. I know that I have found the right balance within myself, and that my emotions are balanced, and whatever I've done to do that, whether I've had a great night's sleep, I've done some yoga, or I've done some meditation, or one of Topanka's hypnosis is, something like that. Hypnosis? Hypnoses. Don't know what the plural is. I'll figure out. So it's yeah. Do you have a horse that's like that though? Something that's a barometer for you, whether it's a horse or a family member or something, or a friend that just goes, nah, don't come with me with that attitude, or do you need a cuddle, or just totally in your face like, girl, you need to sort yourself out. Let me know in the comments below if you do, and we'll so next topic. Obviously there is a lot of work involved around horses, and I think I've touched on it already, that it can have an effect on your mental health, of the idea of, I'm not feeling that great and I've still got 10 million things to do. I find that having my mother assist me doing the horses can really change things for me, and I can go from, oh, I just can't today, it's just too much hard work, to, you know what, we can do this because we have a laugh, or she's there for me, and I just the presence of her is just calming sometimes for me. You know, like any person who's got a great mother, you just be near them, you're like, I'm good. She can give me a cuddle if I need one. So that's helps me on days that I'm not feeling that great, to have that support. Or I've got a few friends where I can just be like, I'm feeling a bit down today, and they're just like, right, okay, what's up, what's happening, and stuff like that. And just sometimes just talking it through is absolutely awesome, and it can really change my attitude towards going outside and doing things, and the amount of work that I have to do. And sometimes I streamline it. Not every day I will do something with my herd. Not every day will I pre-prepare my buckets or things like that, or we don't refill all the nets on that day because we're just too knackered, and it's just a case of, what do you need for the morning? Okay, here it is, you can do some more hay nets in the morning, and that's fine, and it works. And yeah, so streamlining helps sometimes as well when you're not feeling that great. And other days when you're full of energy, you're like, have you almost finished that net? Let me fill it up for you. I don't want you ever having an empty net because I've got too much to do. So so there's that as well. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying this, people. This is awesome. Right, I've lost my list. I had 10 million things that I wanted to talk about. Aha, here we go. So when it comes to natural horsemanship, I've found that it's made me a lot more aware of my own horse's mental health. Not to mention having track systems as well. It's made me focus more on them. And also, as Susie likes to say, Susie School Horsemanship, that once you see, you can't unsee. So it's sort of like once you take the blinkers off, you can't put them back on. And thanks to working through the natural way of doing things and engaging with the horse and building the relationship from the ground up and getting it solid, you start to see when they're not happy, and when they are, and when they're afraid, and when they're confident. And once you see that, you can't unsee that, and you start seeing it in every horse around you. And it's actually easier to see in people around you as well. You can go, oh my god, I never knew you were this in that situation or that in that situation. And it's really, really enlightening. But also you become hyper aware of everything, and you can go, oh dear, you're not okay with that, right, let me change it. And actually maybe you need to work them through that. Or it affects your own mental health because you're like, oh no, I upset him or her, oh no, I'm not feeling that great, oh no, I'm really bad at this, and you can spiral. And I've done that so many times, and it can be really hard to get yourself out of that spiral, and just to accept that sometimes you'll get it right and sometimes you won't. And it's a balancing act, because some days you'll get it and you'll be like, you know what, this is awesome, I'm awesome, you're awesome, we've got a great relationship, nobody compares to us, we're the best in the world. And then other times you're just like, I'm gonna cry in a corner, you don't love me, I obviously can't get it right, I shaped at this, and you just... So yes, so natural horsemanship has been so interesting and so insightful for me, for myself and for my herd as well. And yeah, as I said, once you see, you can't unsee. But it also means that I'm becoming a better horsewoman. I think that's the phrase, horsewoman. Because it means that I am aware of my horse's emotions. I'm aware of what makes them happy. I'm aware what upsets them. And I can take that and balance it out. And if I know what their personality is, see my horse personalities Thursday Thinks from the other week, I can then turn it around and go, right, okay, that didn't work very well for us. How do we work through this? How can I take this to the next level? How can I break this down so that I'm okay and you're okay with this? So in seeing, I've managed to develop to be able to see better and to be able to work through it, and that for me has been absolutely amazing. I mean, I did a bit of an activity with Pagan this morning. I had her weaving on double long lines through cones, and then once she was comfortable with that, I took her out onto the lane, and she completely lost confidence, and I had to sort of insist at certain points, be like, no, you can do this, you've walked up this lane before, let's go. No, don't be looking at the floor, don't be looking at anything else, you've got this, go. And I could see that she wasn't comfortable with it, and it did make me feel bad to go, no, get your butt moving. But at the same time, I'm aware that she's a confident introvert, that I do need to push her through some of the things so that she can get braver at things, and it helps her to then become confident by saying to her, no, young confidence is not needed, it's not going to help you, you're a confident girl, you've got this, I've got this, and in times when you haven't got it, I've got it for you. I say it's okay, go. So that's just a little bit of an example for you. So yes, natural horsemanship has helped me. Let me know in the comments below if it has helped you and whether you're vibing with what I'm saying. So obviously that's a little bit also about my journey into horses as well. When I first started, I was part of I was at a riding centre. The Major was one of the riding ponies. He was on working livery there, and it was a case of he has to do as he's told. And sometimes I could tell, because I'm quite sensitive. I'm not sure that's the right word, but I'm going with that, to the fact that something wasn't working right, and I just didn't know what it was at the time. And once I got the Grey Lady, she really wasn't vibing with what I was doing and what I'd been taught and things like that. And so I went on a different alternative angle, and I got Jenny of I think it's Harmony Horse or something like that. I'll find out and let you know. But she came out to the Grey Lady and the Major and just started me on the journey of there is an alternative route when it comes around behaviours, and their mental health is as important as yours. So that was the start of my journey. And then when we moved up to Shropshire, where we are now, obviously I couldn't work with Jenny because she was in Wiltshire, and she actually trained a bit with Susie School Horsemanship, and she recommended her, and I was like, from day one I was like, Susie, you and me are going to be best buds. And it's been absolutely amazing over the past few years. The amount of work that we've done together and the changes that I've seen in my herd has been absolutely amazing. As I say, this has worked for me. Not everybody works the same way. It might not vibe with you, the natural horsemanship way, but it also comes down to who you've got as your instructor, who you've got teaching you. If you don't vibe with them, perhaps you could vibe with a different one. Just something to think about. But at the end of the day, your horse's mental health is as important as yours, but at the same time you bounce off each other and you vibe off each other. You need to make sure that if you're not in the right place, you know how to get into the right place so that your horse is in the right place when you get there as well. I hope that made sense. So mental health around horses is a complex area. If you really, really think about it, if you really, really simplify it, and you take your crappy energy or I don't want to do it energy around your horses, they're going to give you the same back. And quite often this case of, same as you walking into a group of friends and you're like, oh shit no, they're going to like, you know what, I've had a great day, I don't want to be near around you, or just go away, or I'm off, you know, that sort of thing. Or you go in bouncy like, yeah, I've had a great day. And they can either be like, yeah, awesome, let's do stuff, or they can be like, okay, crazy person, we were having a quiet moment reading books and you just came in bounding, can you be quiet now please? So same around your horses. If they've been charged around the field because they're full of the joys of spring and you're walking on the yard feeling you had a bad day, them bounding around is just not going to make you happier. Or it might, if you're an extrovert and you're just like, yes, this is exactly what I needed, but it might not be. Or they've been in all day because they've been sheltering from rain, snow, whatever, or flies, bloody flies, and you bound in like you've had 10 million chocolate bars and half a pint of cider or something like that, and you're just bounding in, and they're just like, no, crazy lady, you know, because they're not in the same mental place that you are. So part of the horse personality is you'll find out what their base energy is, and you can go in with a similar energy, or if you can't, then you need to figure out ways to get yourself in a different place. And it helps you develop your own self. You're develop your own self and your awareness of your own emotions and where you are and what you need to get to where you need to be. I hope that all makes sense for you. So this is obviously a Facebook Live, and I will be posting this up on YouTube in a couple of weeks' time, so you can always go watch this over there again. It will also be up on the Facebook group for you, Facebook page. There is obviously a Facebook group as well if you want to go over there to talk about herbs, keeping your horses naturally, their mental health, their personalities. Go join us over there. Happy to answer any questions that you have. Let me know down below whether you've enjoyed this topic and what would you like to see going forward. There's obviously a YouTube channel, but you know, rock on with what you feel like. There's so many platforms, not to mention Instagram. We've got Instagram as well, people. So I think that's everything about mental health around horses and my experience of it. And I'll talk to you next Thursday, maybe about flies. They're coming out and they are the bane of my existence. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you next week, everybody. Okay, bye.